Hi you, and welcome back to Pond House Garden. Today we are in the gardens taking a look at these beautiful bulbs called snowdrops. At the Pond House, Mom and Dad have a ton of snowdrops coming up throughout their gardens, and I also found a few that I had forgotten that I had planted years ago, and they've been coming up through the bark mulch here and there through the yard. Unfortunately, I don't have them tagged. I probably received a lot of these bulbs from friends who are doing dividing and wanted to find new homes. So going forward, of course, I'll be mindful to make sure to tag each one of my snowdrops, especially for you enthusiasts out there who absolutely adore the snowdrop. Like I am becoming, I am very much becoming a little bit fanatical about the snowdrop, especially because it is the first bulb up here in Canada and on the West Coast. Oh, that sun, it's blinding. It's awesome. Up here on the West Coast, we are in Zone 8B. We're on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, and snowdrops are one of our very first flowers to come up every year. And it gives me just that sense of excitement that spring is right around the corner. And there's nothing better than also coming out and seeing the snowdrops on a sunny morning like today. Now, snowdrops come up when there is snow on the ground. We have lots of photos in stock actually showing all of the different snowdrops around the yard and how beautiful they look emerging from a white bed of snow and frost on the ground. Mom, Dad, and I typically go around to different nurseries on the island. We also go to our Gulf Islands. We've gone over to Salt Spring Island and other nurseries on the other islands looking for snowdrop treasures. You can actually start to collect. There's quite a few varieties or names of different snowdrops that you can collect. Some are singles, some are doubles, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. Now this one right here, it's a no-name brand, but I'm going to love it nonetheless. And it was for free because it came from friends. When you go to the nurseries, you'll find that they range anywhere from $4.99 up to $2.99 or up to $2.99. That would be great. No, they range anywhere from $4.99 up to $29.99, I think is the most that we've paid, but I am sure that they come higher than that. It just depends on how rare the species is that you're buying. Yes. And remember, for those of us who collect, we can always divide after flowering. We can divide them and share with one another and add to our collections. Snowdrops, or Galanthus, come from the ancient Greek words milk and flower. They are like little white propellers that come up from small perennial bulbs in the ground. They have beautiful little nodding white flowers that come off of a green stalk. Snowdrops are easy to grow and they multiply. There are differences in flower size, petal length and width, the shape and size of the green petal markings inside the flower. There's differences in stem height and there's differences in the number of petals. Thankfully, snowdrops require little to no maintenance, and they are not bothered by pests or diseases, and especially not bothered by deer. And speaking of deer, Dad ended up with 6 buck that came down to visit him the other day, all obviously looking for a treat or a snack. Mom and Dad have been busy at the Pond House making up the new hosta garden, and they know that all of these little spring flowering bulbs are now coming up from the ground. Snowdrops are related to amaryllis bulbs and daffodils. They are typically 3 to 6 inches tall, and they produce one small flower that's approximately 1 inch in size. They love full sun to part shade, soil pH acidic, neutral, and alkaline. And they are hardy between 3 to 7, zones 3 to 7. Now, as far as care is concerned, you want to plant them 3 inches deep, and you want to plant them in early fall to late fall. The space should be about 3 to 4 inches apart, and they do like full sun, 6 or more hours of direct sunlight per day. They do not like heat or humidity, so keep that in mind. After they have bloomed, Then allow the foliage to yellow or brown before removing it, or you can just let the foliage decompose. And this allows, of course, the nutrients to fall back into the soil and also allows for the bulb to take on any additional nutrients for the next year. Remember, you can divide the clumps after flowering. That's the important time frame. Snowdrops are especially perfect for woodland gardens, rock gardens, and for moon gardens because the white from the petals glow in the moonlight. Here we have Galanthus elwesii, which is known as a giant snowdrop. It's hardy to zone 4 and twice as big as nivalis. Galanthus hippolyta has beautiful double flowers, and it's named after the Amazon queen of Greek mythology. Galanthus jacquinata has a deep green mark that runs the length of the outside of the inner petals. It is a Greatorix double, and it has the strongest fragrance. And there's Galanthus Sam Arnett. It was named after Sam, who was a keen gardener and a snowdrop fanatic. It has bigger and larger white flowers than many, and it has a beautiful honey fragrance. So taking a trip to the local Dinter nursery the other day here on Vancouver Island, I found that there was very little stock still out there, even though most of us gardeners are very hopeful that we can be inspired early on in the year. That is what the Seattle Garden Show is all about right now. Nothing but inspiration there for sure. However, in a sea full of nothingness, I did manage to find one section of snowdrops. I was able to find a few more to add to my collection, and I'm not too sure if these are going to make it down to the pond house gardens or whether they're going to stay in my gardens here. So when I wake up in the morning and have my cup of coffee, I can just walk outside and get inspired from these white beauties. I hope that you've learned a thing or two today about snowdrops or galanthus, and please feel free to add any kind of comments below and let me know about your snowdrop experiences. I'd love to learn along with you. Until next time, remember, your dreams can become a reality just like ours have become. All you have to do is take the very first step. And hey, maybe it's going and buying your very first snowdrop for $4.99 and putting it on your kitchen windowsill. Until next time, have a great day.